probably is apparently cool because of the race.
I've never been to one that we didn't hear for. I had one where we almost lost for him.
Stephanie, I could be turning that around. Oh, yeah. That's my day. Please don't embarrass me at this right now. Really?
Oh, hell yeah. Yeah, nice. All right. Check out what's in. All right. Thank you all for coming to Campus Council tonight. We are now in session. We'll begin with the roll call. Administrative Coordinator Hill. Here. President White. Here. VP AA Gelnerova. Yes. VP SA Epps. Treasurer Steckel. Here. Assistant Treasurer Shake. Here. Ace Chair Handel. No. Ace Chair Mystic. Services Coordinator Porter. Here. Constance Chair Trarzina. Diversity and Outreach Coordinator Bogus. Here. Senator Bolster is late. All right. Thank you. Senator Ercolani. Here. Senator Stallings. Senator Doudna. Here. Senator Toombu. Here. Senator Logan. Here. Senator Schweitzer. Senator Farran. Yeah. Senator Hamilton. Yeah, sorry, skipped a line. Senator Ochoa. Senator Nola. Here. Senator Taylor. Here. Senator Brindle. Senator Antonisi. Yes, all right. Senator Feldberg-Bannatyne. Present. Senator Samra. Senator Rapelski. Senator Gondotra. Here. All right. Delegate Msakela. Delegate Bolke. Here. Delegate Brenhofer. Delegate Gustafson. Delegate Tanamoto. Delegate Ruiz. Delegate Luba. Delegate Niederman. Delegate Luther. Technical Advisor Reverend Becker. ACES Co-Director Coleman. And Green Fund Co-Chair Magdalena. With that, we'll be moving on to public comments, announcements, and events. Anybody who would like to address the council? Yes, President White.
Hey, okay, so this is an announcement for the people in the room that there's, the college hired a video crew to do filming for a prospective student video, and I sent them my whole schedule for today and tomorrow and stuff, so they might pop in, so just carry on business as normal if they do come in, but they might not, I don't know, I just want to give you all a heads up on that.
Any further comments or announcements? Yes, Senator Feldberg-Bannatyne.
Alrighty, so the final round of divestment dialogues is coming up next week, November 6th and November 7th. That's Monday and Tuesday. Also on that Monday, starting at 12 with the session of art in the grill, is going to be a day of action sponsored by Grinnell Student Resistance. And we have a lot of really cool stuff. There's going to be some speakers. We're going to have some community conversations and teach-ins, as well as a rally afterwards leading up to an action. So let everybody know, and we hope that we see you out there.
Yes, Senator Gondotra.
So there's a Diwali function this Friday in Harris at 7:15. It starts at 6 if you already got a ticket. The tickets are already out, I'm sorry. But if you want to come see the performances start at 7:15 and that's open to everybody.
Further comments? Yes, Services Coordinator Porter.
So there's a blood drive on Tuesday, next Tuesday, from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. I'll be tabling, as other CAB members will be tabling, and for the rest of the week, there's an all-campus email that was sent out, and you can also sign up online for it. I encourage everyone who can donate to donate. It's a really great thing.
Further comments or announcements? Yes. Can we get a mic? Hey, Senator Feldberg-Benetton. Yes. Thank you.
So ACES is starting a second hiring process. So if you know anyone who would like to work for ACES, that's all campus events, student safety, let me know, and then I can give them my email.
Further comments? All right, seeing none further, we'll be moving on to the next item, which is going to be the approval of the minutes. For this, we will be using the clickers. What's up? No. All right. If we could make sure everyone is signed in. If you need a clicker, please make sure to grab one there at the front. We can redo it when Henry gets here. Yeah, we can also do that. Okay, let's do that. All right, you ready? Can you run the poll? Yeah. All right, with that, we'll be moving on with the approval of the minutes. A is to be in favor of the minutes, approval of the minutes. B is to be opposed, and C is abstaining. The poll is now open. All right, and with that, the motion is approved and along with the minutes. And so with that, we'll be moving on to the fourth item on the agenda, which is a motion to adjourn at 9:30 p.m. That is a motion to set the time to adjourn for 9:30 p.m. Senator Ercolani.
I object to the consideration of this motion.
We will continue to consider the motion, but you are more than welcome to speak against it. Yes, Senator?
We're in debate right now, right?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, I would like to encourage everyone to say a big old no to motioning to adjourn. I think that, like, for example, last time we motioned to adjourn, it was 9:30, there were only a few agenda items left. And just in general, something I've been thinking about, the spirit of campus council, it's been feeling a little bit rushed. The motioning to approve budgets without letting people ask questions, the just trying to get out of here by 9:30. I'd really encourage everyone to consider that 30 extra minutes even will allow us to do our jobs.
Any further comments? Yes, President White. Could we pass a mic to President White, please?
Thank you for that, Regina. I also would say that while this is a space for us to take our time and hear out student issues and stuff, there's also, like, part of being respectful of that is not just talking to fill air, but like speaking intentionally. This is not to say that you need to have your words all put together perfectly every time you speak, right? I don't think that's a fair expectation, but to just be mindful of what you're saying and to not reiterate points that have already been made just because you feel like talking, right? So even though we might be giving the flexibility to have this space, being respectful of that and speaking and saying what needs to be said.
All right, further comments? VPSA EPS.
Yeah, so I would say no, but I'd say no because, not applied, you ran for the position to be senator, and so one of the biggest parts of being senator is being at campus council, no matter like how long it is. And so when I was a sophomore, some campus councils ran 3 hours. I was there for 3 hours. I might not have wanted to be there for 3 hours, but it was like whatever we were talking about or doing was important. And so sometimes, I don't know if any of you read Evan's email, but like there are people who are sometimes waiting to get budgets passed. If we were to take up to 9:30 to do everything else before that budget, and then like we just adjourn, that's someone who waited there for an hour and a half to get the whatever money they needed for their thing on Saturday, and they now can't have on Saturday because we decided that we wouldn't be assholes and adjourn at 9:30, because that's essentially what we'd be if we did that to somebody. Because I know damn well if I was here for an hour and a half and y'all adjourned at 9:30, I'll be ready to curse every one of y'all out. And so that, but then also just like when you take on a responsibility, I as a Grinnell student, not just VPSA, but as a Grinnell student, expect you to do your job, because otherwise you shouldn't have taken on the responsibility. I think that's a part of being a leader, a part of deciding you wanted to be a senator and whatnot. And so if you're not willing to do that or be here for that long, you can step down and we will find someone else to fill your position, because that's our job to do.
I saw Senator Galani before.
With respect to the statements made by the Vice President of Student Affairs, I mean, that is why I objected to the consideration of this motion, because I feel that it fundamentally hinders the ability of the student government to carry out its duties as, prescribed in the Constitution and bylaws of this body. It does not allow for us to adequately perform our jobs in many cases.
Further comments? Yes.
Motion to previous question.
I see a motion to previous question. Do I see a second? Senator Doudna. All right, and with that, all right, we're going to use the clickers for this one. So with that, if we could all turn to the screen and see that the poll is now open. So if you could please vote. A is to be in favor of previous question, B is to be opposed, and C is in favor. This is a move to previous question. Oh wait, have you? Hey Miles, we need to get full screen. Oh, okay. Do we need to redo it? All right, if we could all have just 1 second, we need to add in a new senator. All right, we're going to redo the vote. Thank you all for your patience. So the poll is now open. A is to be in favor of a motion to previous question, B opposed, and C is abstaining. We're looking for a total of 17 votes now. If everybody could please make sure that you have voted. A is to be in favor, B opposed, and C abstaining. If you could all make sure you voted just one more time for me, please.
Ask the bot.
Well, with the necessary 9 votes, that motion does pass. It is a majority, so we will be moving on to the vote on a motion to set the time to adjourn for 9:30 p.m. So again, we'll be using the clickers for this one, hopefully this time more successfully. So with that, the poll will now open, and we are looking for A is to be in favor of setting the time to adjourn at 9:30, B is opposed, and C is abstaining. Got it?
Point of information?
All right. Can we get a mic?
We just voted to vote on the 9th.
We voted to move. we voted to move back to the vote. So the motion to the previous question being the main motion at hand, so as to skip any further discussion and to move immediately to the vote is the process that we just all saw. And so now with this, we are not going to set the time to adjourn at 9:30 p.m. It did not get the necessary majority votes. And so with that, we'll be moving on to the next item on the agenda, which is the budgets for all campus events. Without the ACE co-chairs here, VPSA EPS, are you going to represent?
Yeah, I represent.
Thank you.
They have the TBD, I can't read right now, all language houses. I don't know, anyone here from language houses? Okay, so that's their budget, that's what's up this week, or what not, yeah.
Is there anybody here to present on the Language Houses housewarming event? All right, so I suppose we will seeing no motion. Is there any questions for Vice President of Student Affairs EPS on the all-campus events budgets? No, all right. Seeing none, we'll be moving on to the next item on the agenda, which is the Student Programming Committee budgets. So with that, we'll be turning it over to Services Chair Porter.
Yeah. What's going on? Okay. Let's go. Okay. Yeah, so here it is. Got some good stuff. What are you doing? We got some good stuff going on. Equestrian Club is here to present for their budget. The committee decided to give them 3 weeks worth of funding and for drill team to require drill team members to pay $5 for lessons. Yep. And then after 3 weeks, we asked them to come back so we could see where we were at with our budget and then give funding then. We have 7,500 or close to 7,600 left, so I'm feeling pretty good.
Point of information.
Yes, Senator.
Just to clarify, last time that we saw equestrian here, didn't we settle on like the drill team paying like full price for their lessons?
No, so we settled on drill team paying $10. That's not full price, that's half price. And then that was now they're coming back because they didn't get money for the whole semester. And so the committee decided to do $5 because it was a significant financial burden on Equestrian Club drill members. Yeah.
All right, are there any questions about the SPC budgets other than the equestrian budget? All right, then with that, we will be moving on to the equestrian budget, and if you would like to present, could we please pass a mic over here? Thank you.
All right, hello, we're from the Equestrian Club and Drill Team. So we're requesting funding for the next 3 weeks to cover the 20 college students that take lessons at the barn. Lessons at the barn are subsidized by Grinnell College, so that people only have to take, or only have to spend $8 per week or per lesson. And this is like a really reasonable price that allows a lot more people to ride horses than like would ordinarily in society. So it makes it really reasonable for people. And then we're also requesting funding for drill team so that the people on this team can both take lessons to improve their skills and to be on the team.
And could you please tell us your name for the minutes?
Yep, I'm Natalie Seeger.
Last name one more time?
Seeger, S-E-G-E-R.
Thank you. All right, are there any questions? Senator Ercolani. Could we get a mic to Senator Ercolani, please?
So just to clarify, those 9 people on the drill team are paying $13 a week for their lessons?
I believe that's correct. Well, if you include practice in the lesson, yes.
Senator Robelski.
Is there a reason you're appealing the budget for 6 weeks instead of just the 3 weeks? Oh, wait, they're not appealing it? Oh.
They're not appealing. Point of order.
Yes.
This is just, they're not appealing, but any budget that's over $1,000, campus council has to approve.
Are there any further questions? Yes, Senator. Could we get a mic to Senator Ochoa, please? Thank you all for your patience. One of the mics is broken, so we're a little short-handed here.
Okay, so just wondering, so like the drill team is the only team the drill team was the one that was paying $13 or like $10, was that it, how it was before? So the other 20 people, they never, like the amount that they were paying was never fluctuating, is that it? Okay, all right, okay, that's it.
Any further questions? Yes, Easy Hill.
Motion to previous question.
I see a motion to previous question. Do I see a Senator Antonisi? Do you want to use the All right, and if we could all turn to our trustee clickers. We are going to open the polls momentarily. And the poll is now open, so A is to be in favor of moving to previous question, B is to be opposed, and C is to abstain. All right, and that motion passes. We're going to previous question. So with that, if you could all use your clickers one more time, we have a motion to approve $1,125 for the Equestrian Club. So with that, A is to be in favor, B is opposed, and C is abstaining for $1,125 for the Equestrian Club. And that motion passes. So thank you very much. The Equestrian Club has been granted $1,125. Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
All right. Are there any other questions on any of the SPC budgets? All right. Seeing none further, we'll be moving on to the next item, which is the services budget. Services Coordinator Porter.
Yeah, so we had the 3 budgets come in, none that need to be approved by campus council. We have around $3,000 remaining for the rest of the semester. I'm very excited about how this budget's been used and how it's been used, or how it's been used and the fact that it's being used, because in previous years it kind of gets left untouched, so.
Are there any questions about the Services Committee? Yes, Senator Feldberg-Bannatyne. Could we get a mic, please? Could you pass down? Thank you.
Hi, thank you. I know Emily and I spoke about this, but I'm going to make a motion to amend the last budget for National Vigil for the full amount of funding. There's a miscommunication. That funding will be used to buy fake flowers for the vigil that will be held on the 9th. The miscommunication was that the flowers will be real and therefore not reusable, but they will indeed be fake. And then the voice box can use them for future events and other vigils that happen. So it makes a lot of sense to pass the budget in full.
Great. Do I see a second for the motion to amend the National Vigil budget from $150 to $180? Senator Hamilton. And this motion is debatable, so we are going to open up discussion for the motion to amend for an additional $30 for the National Vigil. Yes, Senator. Could we get a mic to Senator Stallings? Oh, thank you.
Just point of information, is this a typo or is this a request for full funding and it wasn't rewarded originally?
Yeah. Go. Services Coordinator Porter.
Yeah, so it's not a typo. We did end up giving them $150 and not $180. When the budget was presented, it said that there were flowers being purchased in a wreath. And so when the committee was discussing the budget, there was this idea that the flowers were real and not fake, and the committee thought that that was unreasonable to fund real flowers. So we reduced the budget to 150 because we said, okay, they'll buy fake flowers and fake flowers must be cheaper. But after talking to Senator Felberg, Bannatyne, whatever, I'm sorry, I realized, well, they told me that it was actually 4 fake flowers, so that's why I told them to amend it at campus council.
Great. Any further comments? Yes, Senator Antonisi.
Motion to previous question.
See a motion to previous question. Do I see a second? Yes, Senator Stallings. So if we could all use your clickers once again. We are going to open the polls. This is a motion to previous question on the motion to amend. A, in favor, B, opposed, and C, abstaining. All right, and with that, the motion to previous question passes. And so with that, we'll be moving on to the vote. So we'll be using the clickers once again. This is a motion to amend the budget from $150 to $180 for the National Vigil from the Services Committee. A is in favor, B opposed, C abstaining. All right, with that, the motion to amend has passed, so the National Vigil will be, budget will be amended from $150 to $180. All right, are there any other questions for any services committee budgets? No? Seeing none further, we'll be moving on to the next item on the agenda, which is the discussion topic on topic tables. Is there somebody who's presenting on this discussion topic? Yes.
Hi, everybody. So I've been working with Khalil and a few other people about setting up topic tables in the dining hall on Thursdays. I think we're going to do it. The first one being this Thursday, the 16th. The 16th. So basically, we're going to we want these tables to be a way for people to talk about just issues that they want to talk about. And the way we're thinking about doing this, and maybe you can get your feedback on this, is we're going to put a Facebook post out and have people submit ideas that they want to talk about on this Facebook post, and we'll maybe put a few examples to guide the suggestions. Then we'll look at those suggestions, we'll edit out dumb ones, we'll compile, find the best ones, try to do the majority, try to like decide based on majority, and then we'll put that as the first topic table. We are going to plan to get some professors involved who will join the topic table, not in like an official capacity, but just kind of not even to facilitate discussion, just to be there to talk. We're thinking maybe get multiple professors so that the chance that they'll sort of grandstand is less, so it'll feel more like a conversation. In addition to the Facebook post, we'll send out an email too with a Google poll where you can like both vote on some like It's just me fill in the blank. So you're just going to fill in the blank for like an idea that you want. Yeah. Am I missing anything?
It'll consistently be the same table, and we'll tell people about it.
It will be the same actual table, the same physical table, not even the same spot, the same little table. And we'll tell people before. Yeah.
Yeah, so like people will know that it's happening. You won't walk into
Right. And we'll also like broadcast what the topic's about, I'm assuming. Are we discussing this or is it just me talking about this? Because I can.
Are there any questions? Yes, Senator.
Are these tables going to be funded like the other tables that I hear about happening in D Hall, or just like an unofficial kind of thing in that capacity?
That's actually a good point, because I hadn't thought about people who don't have meal plans. That's something that we will look into. Thank you for bringing it up.
Yes. Could we get a mic to Senator Friend, please? Thank you.
Are you only getting suggestions through Facebook? Like, and where is that, what group is that post going to be on?
Yeah, so we're gonna, Miles is gonna make a form. We're gonna send out that form via an all-campus email, so everyone will have access to it, and then also post it in, like, I think the current students 2017, 2018 group, which has like around 800 people, but we're also gonna send out an email, because obviously that doesn't include the entire campus.
Yes, Senator. Senator Stallings.
I just wanted to say that sounds like a really cool idea, and good job for you guys, because it sounds dope.
Any further questions or comments? Yes, Senator Aklani.
Just to clarify, this is going to be in the main body of the dining hall? Okay. Have you considered noise levels and how that might impact productive discussion?
Yeah, I think that the reason we are thinking about the main area, although that's true that it will be like the noisiest, is that we want it to be something that people can easily like walk into, that you don't have to like plan to go to this, you can just see it and go. We thought about like the whale room or upstairs, but that just creates another barrier, honestly, for people to engage with it. And if we're doing this on Thursday lunch, then that is like, there's not the same like 11:50 rush that is on Monday, Wednesday, Friday. So hopefully that'll help a little bit.
Further questions or comments? Yes.
Any suggestions would also be appreciated. And encouraged.
Questions, comments, or suggestions? Yes, AC Hill.
Talk about childhood television shows. I think that's a good topic.
Write it.
Any other comments, questions, suggestions?
I would encourage your constituents to send in suggestions when the all-campus email goes out and when we have that form, yeah.
President White?
Yeah, I just also want there, when you're asking for suggestions for topics, if there could be kind of like space for people to say, I don't like this idea in general, or like don't want that. So if they want to give feedback about like the meta topic tables, rather than just like give a topic for this thing.
Any other questions, comments, or suggestions? All right, seeing none further, we'll be moving on to the next item, which is a discussion topic on campus council behavior. Is there anybody who will be leading this discussion? Senator Logan?
Yeah, what I wanted to talk about was mostly addressed when we talked about the 9:30 motion to adjourn, so we can keep it moving unless anyone has something to say.
Does anybody have any discussion points they'd like to make about the campus council behavior? Senator Robelski. Can we get a mic to Senator Robelski, please?
I'm aware people don't tend to mean to do this, but under Robert's rules, you don't address other people, you only address our presiding officer, and that's certainly something that happens a fair amount.
Correct. Yeah, it is actually a note that the quorum does call for most things to be addressed simply to the presiding officer. That includes anything from like saying you to a person. We are fairly lenient with this rule here. It is a custom of ours. But yes, please do make sure to not abuse this, or else yeah, we can adjust that custom. Are there any other discussion points? Senator Arcolani.
I mean, I don't know if this body has decided to allow standing and informal rules to carry over from session to session, semester to semester. And I'm just wondering, like, I know that you as the chair do have leniency in some matters, and like I think it was addressed at the first session of campus council, like knocking on tables in the affirmative to support a position. Would you have any other like regular standing rules that may be addressed in Roberts that you don't necessarily abide by, like standing to address the chair and items like that?
So things like this are not in any way codified, if that's what you are asking, but within Roberts rules, there is one of the like early sections is on what's called standing rules, and the most notable of which being any sort of custom. So things like that are do take precedence, and it says that they do take precedence over something that Roberts Rules does. We do not have many customs, at least to my knowledge, that significantly separate from Roberts Rules of Orders, but I do know that we are lenient in some of our rules of decorum because of the fact that we have so frequently been a respectful body of student leaders. And this body, I believe, has for the most part upheld that, as well as any other semester. And so I believe we will continue to abide by our similar customs, so you shouldn't expect any major changes if that's what you're asking as well. Any other discussion points or topics on campus council behavior? Also, if you have any other questions about Robert's rules, you can feel free to ask me at any point or just after campus council. Any other questions? All right, seeing none further, we'll be moving on to the next discussion topic, which is on Grinnell thumbs down. Is there anybody who's presenting on this issue? Senator Ericolani.
Upon further consideration, I'd like to remove this from the agenda. Or just end debate, end discussion immediately.
So would you like to, just to be clear, you have the option of postponing it indefinitely, postponing it definitely.
Postpone indefinitely.
Okay, we can postpone it indefinitely. Do I have a second? Yes, Diversity and Outreach Coordinator Bogus. 1 second for I can keep notes.
Point of information.
Yes. Can we get a mic to DOC Bogus, please?
About Grinnell thumbs down, if anyone wants to talk about this, wants to talk about what's happening in the Facebook groups, talk to me or come to Outreach Committee, which meets on 7 p.m. or on Tuesdays at 7 p.m. in JRC 225. This is something we're talking about. If it's something you feel invested in or want to discuss, please come through.
Just so that we're clear, the motion to postpone indefinitely is debatable, so we are now open for discussion on this matter. Do I see anything? Yes, Senator Stallings.
Motion to previous question.
I see a motion to previous question. Do I see a second? Senator Doudna. All right. And with that, if we could open the polls, and we'll have a motion to previous question on the indefinite postponement of the discussion topic on Grinnell thumbs down. If we could all make sure we vote, we're looking for one more vote. If you could please double check, everyone. All right, with that, the motion to previous question passes, so we will be voting on the motion to postpone indefinitely the discussion topic for Grinnell thumbs down. So if we could open the polls once again. A is to be in favor of postponing indefinitely the discussion topic on thumbs down, and B is to be opposed, C is abstaining. All right, 10-5-2. All right, with that, motion passes, and this discussion topic has been postponed indefinitely. So with that, we'll be moving on to the next item, which is a cabinet report from President White. Nothing further to add? All right, if there are any questions for President White? Yes, Senator Feldberg-Bannatyne.
Yeah, I'm just wondering how the cabinet meeting with Angela Voos went and what that was about.
Oh, your mic is either off or dead.
Thanks, it went well. I'm just going to pull up the agenda so I can get through every point we talked about.
Here, I can take that. This is the dead one. Could you go to the person list over there now?
Test. Okay, so in the meeting with the cabinet and Angela Voos on Friday, we talked about the Posse Plus retreat. I made an announcement about that last campus council, I believe, that it was just like in the agenda. So I just wanted her to be aware of that, and I let her know that she and President Kington are invited to attend the full retreat, especially the full day on Saturday. I also let her know that I'm going to be inviting the trustees to come, and so I've reached out to the chair, the board, and the vice presidents of the board as well, to invite them to attend that. She also gave us updates on a hairdresser that will be coming in town. She didn't have any updates on the open tabletop exercise, but we asked about that, which is like going to be an event with, like, it's basically like a panel that's going to have this like bias incident scenario, and then they'll talk through that with an audience of hopefully a lot of students and other members of our community to observe that. She did not have any updates for us on the Iowa prison furniture from the Iowa prison industries, which is something that President Kington is currently in the process of reaching out to leaders of that organization and hoping to connect leaders of that organization with Grinnell students so we can ask questions about some of their practices and better understand what they do and the nature of that work and how it ties into the prison industrial complex, if at all. And then we spent a bulk of our meeting talking about cyberbullying, talking about issues of campus loneliness, introversion, belonging, accessibility, student athletes, sexual misconduct, Title IX process, online conduct versus in-person conversation and action. And from that, we decided that it would make sense to convene like a group of people to address cyberbullying and have a clear protocol for how we're going to go about that. But then when talking about it with another administrator, it appears that that just made sense for the Student Life Committee to address. So that will be on the agenda for the first Student Life Committee, which should be within the next few weeks. If other cabinet members have anything to add on that from that meeting, feel free. Okay, thanks for the question.
Are there any other questions for President White? Senator Ercolani.
So I remember seeing earlier this week, this is not a point addressed in your discussion, but I think it does involve you as Stipend. I saw that there was a SGA Facebook post at sometime earlier this week saying that we were about 31 votes away from having 50%. I'm wondering if we are any closer than that in the couple of days since that has been posted.
Would you like to speak to that, Miles?
Could we get a mic to...
I'm turning it over to him because I don't run that, he does.
We need 23 votes, and then we're done with this whole ordeal. So just please tell your friends to vote for this. Just 23 votes.
Many minutes.
Thank you. Thank you, yeah.
If you send things in the body of the email, people will actually click on them.
Yeah, I also want to say, like, don't force anyone to vote. Like, you don't have to vote. If people don't want to vote, we could just not have enough and then not have initiatives. But I kind of feel like that's not the case.
Senator Ercolani.
I would also add that when you are including these in your mini minutes, please let people know that there is a no preference option, so that way as long as we have enough people voting, like democracy wins.
Any further questions for President White?
I would also say, if you're bored or if you want to do more, let me know. I will give you projects to do to help the campus. I can only do so much, but I have ideas on other things, so feel free to reach out, please.
Anything further for President White? Seeing none further, we'll be moving on to our report from Assistant Treasurer Shake.
Just adding on to what Summer said, the Treasurer's Office is always looking for help too. So if you want to help me out sometime, let me know.
Point of information, I wasn't asking for people to help me do my job. Just wanted to clarify.
That's not what I was saying.
My suggestion was like about if people want to get involved in like helping campus in other ways. Sorry.
Yeah.
I also didn't intend for that to like come off badly or anything, so I apologize if it did. Yeah.
Okay. Anyways, if you guys want to work on projects that I can assign you, you're all welcome. My report, I've been doing the usual. I ran Green Fund Committee with Claire Magdalena, who was awesome. I went to our weekly CAB meetings, and I've started doing e-time, which is exciting. It's all fun. Yeah, any questions? Does anyone have any questions?
Any questions or comments? Seeing none, we'll be moving on to the next item on the agenda, which is a cabinet report from Administrative Coordinator Hill.
Nothing to add.
Any questions for AC Hill? Seeing none, we'll be moving on to the next item, which is a cabinet report from VPSA EPS. Could we give a mic to VPSA EPS?
So last week I had dining committee. That went well. The D hall is back to normal. Talked about topic tables. I'm going to be on the committee for the new search committee, or the search committee for the new dining, head of dining. I think that meeting's next week. Yeah, just living life, loving it. Do you have any questions about things I might have done or you want me to do? No? Okay.
Any questions for the Vice President of Student Affairs?
What's that?
Just as a general point, do you know the other members of the selection committee for DDoS? DDS?
Yeah, give me a sec. That's next Thursday. Dining, no. Where is this?
Who are the other committee members for the Director of Dining Services Search Committee?
I can't find the email right now. But send me an email and then I'll send you an email back so I remember. Or if anyone else wants to know.
Any further comments? Questions? All right, seeing none further, we'll be moving on to the next item, which is a cabinet report from VPAA Galnerova.
Nothing to add.
Any questions, comments? Vice President of Academic Affairs. Seeing none further, we'll be moving on to the next item on the agenda, which is a cabinet report from the ACE co-chairs. So with that, is there anybody who'd like to report for them? VPSA, President White.
If anyone has questions about what they've been doing, I can answer questions about that or all campus events. So those can be heard here. Otherwise, you can email them at ACE.
Any questions? Seeing none, we'll be moving on to the next item on the agenda, which is a cabinet report from the Diversity and Outreach Coordinator.
Same.
Is also not here. Any further questions? Seeing none, we'll be moving on to the next item on the agenda, which is a cabinet report from Services Coordinator.
Yeah, so there's a typo, wrong form of your, makes me really embarrassed. You are, never mind. Anyway, nothing to add. The end.
Any questions? All right, seeing none further, we'll be moving on to the next item, which is a cabinet report from the Treasurer.
So a few announcements about a few different things. First is Wise and I have begun budgeting for next semester, meeting with relevant shareholders for that. I announced last week that if you had any input, this would be the time. That continues. Please let me know if you have any questions, comments, or you want things to be different about the budgeting process or about how SGA's money is allocated. Second thing is there was a discussion between ACE co-chairs, Treasurer's Office, and indirectly President White about changing the setup of what our pizza orders are for Harris. Now instead of just like specialty toppings, we're changing that all to cheese to reduce money or spent on harm reductive measures. If hosts want to have like nicer pizza, they can apply through ACE committee. That's just like a slight policy change. Thirdly, yes, interesting things about budgeting right now is we should be at about the halfway point in terms of wages. However, almost all of SGA's wages have only spent a quarter of their total budgets, which means one of two things, and I think it's a little bit of both. First one is either people are not logging their hours and not sending in reports for their hours, and so they're not getting paid. That's definitely a thing, and so near the end of the semester, we can expect that there will be increased spending on that as people realize that they haven't been paid and then contact us. The second is we over budgeted for wages, which is good because it means that we can reallocate that funding to other areas if so needed. So if committees end up running out, of money early, we probably have a safety net at this point. Yeah, that's it. Any questions?
Any further questions, comments? Yes, President White.
Just a comment on the pizza thing, that it's just like a practice change.
Yeah. Not a policy, right? Yeah, that's a, yeah.
Any further questions or comments? All right, seeing none further, we'll be moving on to the next item, which is a report from the Concerts Chair. Concerts Chair Jaisina.
Hi, everyone. So one thing, there's a typo. It says that I met with the treasurers, but I have not met with them yet. I'm meeting with them tomorrow, so have that to look forward to. Zach, wise. And yeah, we're getting, like, we ordered this new soundboard to like this company in Dubuque, and it's like there now, so it's just a matter of finding a time to go drive and pick it up, which I'm really excited about. In the next week also, I'm going to be holding like a booking committee, which I'm really excited about. I'm going to like invite anyone who wants to, like from the concerts committee or otherwise people interested, to come and listen to like artists that may come, I may book for the spring. I just get some good gut reactions about like whether or not it works. So it's kind of how the public events committee like helps decide like how they're going to like allocate public event series, and I think it's a good like model for making these decisions about what artists to bring. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that, and yeah, I'm happy to hear any feedback you have about how things have gone so far with concerts. I know there's been some areas in the past where people have been concerned about attendance or genre or whatever. So a little over like halfway through the year, I'd be really happy to hear any thoughts people have about the kind of music we're bringing. We have three more concerts this semester. I'm really excited about all of them. Tuesday is Jay Som, who's a really like amazing like indie rock musician, and a student band's opening, P. Mara, which is just Luba, Jacob Getzoff, Victoria, and some other people. And so I'm excited for student bands to be opening for this pretty big artist. She's one of the most high-profile artists we have here this semester, actually. So yeah, it's a Tuesday night, but I hope people show up amidst the flurry of work and other stuff like that. I'm doing good. I hope y'all are doing good. This is fun. That's basically it. Any questions or whatever? Cool.
Any questions or comments? Concerts Chair. All right, seeing none further, we'll be moving on to the next item on the on the agenda, which is the senator reports. So we'll be starting with Senator Toombu. Can we pass the mic, please? Thank you.
I guess one thing to add is like I have a meeting with the head of FM environment about expanding dual system like toilets to all like campus dorms. So that's interesting. Next week. So I'm excited about that.
Are there any questions? All right, seeing none, we'll be moving on to the next report, which is from Senator Eric Galani.
Other than also a typo and using the phrase institutional records keeping within the institution, nothing to add.
Any questions? All right, seeing none, we'll be moving on to the next report, which is from Senator Doudna.
Nothing to add.
Any questions? All right, seeing none, we'll be moving on to the next report, which is from Senator Farran.
Yeah, so we had our first hall council this week on Friday, which was pretty interesting. It was make your own fresh face masks, and it was attended by around like 20 to 22 people, which is a good number. Could have been better, but there was a lot of like preparation that went into the event and just organizing it, and it was a lot of fun. And here are some pictures if you all just want to see what it looked like. We had, can someone turn off the lights maybe? I don't know. We had like different ingredients, pureed banana, strawberries, tomatoes, cucumbers. People could like mix different stuff together, and it was a pretty fun event. Yeah, we had cucumber to put like on your eyes as well. These are kind of dark for some reason, but yeah. It was in main lounge. Max, is that it? Is that it? Yes. Oh, okay, that's it. Thank you.
Are there any questions or comments? All right, seeing none further, we'll be moving on to the next report from Senator Logan.
Nothing to add.
Any questions, comments? Seeing none, we'll be moving on to Senator Bolster.
Hey.
Could we pass a mic to Senator Bolster, please?
You basically heard what I've been working on, which was was that unclear? Okay, I'm gonna start over. So I think you all heard what I was working on, which are topic tables. So there you go. Thank you.
Any questions? All right, seeing none, we'll be moving on to Senator Nawa. Could we pass a mic to Senator Nawa?
Nothing to add.
All right, any questions or comments? Yes, Assistant Treasurer Sheikh.
I had a question for Senator Logan. What did you guys talk about for Winter Waltz in Selah?
We discussed where we wanted it to be, like the vibe, whether we wanted live music, food. That's what I remember.
Are there any questions for Senator Nawa? Yes, President White. It's okay. It's for Senator Logan too.
Yeah, I just had a feeling that someone else maybe wanted to know, did you make any decisions on any of those things?
Yeah, this was the meeting that we had before the last campus council when like Selah announced that they just chosen me for Winter Waltz. So no, not at that meeting. Like we're still in talks. I'm kind of taking their lead as all campus events coordinator, and I will keep you guys looped in on how things are going when we meet next.
Any further questions? Questions for Senator Nawa? All right, seeing none further, we'll be moving on to the next report from Senator Ochoa.
Yeah, so I emailed Jen Jacobson. I'm just waiting to hear back from her. And yeah, that's basically it.
Any questions? Yes, VPSA EPS.
What's your senator project?
What is my senator project?
Yeah.
Okay, so my senator project is based on making like a 1 page or max 2 pages to just have like of tips to go and take care of someone who's like really drunk. So a lot of friends I know may not be comfortable getting other CAs or so in that scenario, and they just want to take care of their friend. So besides just leaving them in a bed, just like giving them other advice for that. So I want to meet with her and see what she has to say.
Just a heads up. Some legal reasons she might not be able to make that is like CAs are legally protected by the school, so like that's like their job. But like if we were to give that form to the whole student body, that puts Grinnell as a college at risk. Just like heads up. I'm not saying she's going to shut it down, but if she does, that might be the frame of thinking.
Thank you.
Any questions or comments? Senator Ochoa? Seeing none, we'll be moving on to Senator Feldberg-Bannatyne.
Hey, yeah, I have one thing to add. I have a meeting with Andrea Connor tomorrow about the voice box and the future of that. So if anyone has anything they want me to bring up, you can let me know. The plan is to talk about the space that it will be inhabiting, and additionally the idea of adding an additional themed house called the Social Justice House. So if anybody has any questions, you can always email me or in person. Additionally, I'm just going to keep it brief. I do other things as my role as caretaker for the voice box. So if you have any questions about that, you can always ask me as well, but I'm not going to be including those in my senator report because that's not the time I'm spending as a senator. My senator project is finding resources for the voice box, not doing other voice box stuff. So I want to draw that distinction and just keep it brief in the interest of time. Thank you.
Any questions for Senator Feldberg-Bannatyne? All right, seeing none, we'll be moving on to the last senator report, which is from Senator Rebelski. Can we get a mic to Senator Rebelski?
Don't think I have anything to add.
Any questions for Senator Rebelski? Oh, nope. All right, a question, Assistant Treasurer Sheikh.
Could you speak to what your senator project is?
Yeah, my Senator project, as I've mentioned last meeting, was looking through the food budgets for previous SBC semesters and getting some good progress on that.
Any further questions?
Oh, actually, yeah, something to add. My fellow Smunker Senator and I discussed how to make a good hall council and some ideas that we bounced back and forth.
Any further comments or questions? All right, seeing none further, the last thing we have is an adjourning motion. So all those, or could I see a second to the motion to adjourn? Senator Logan? And would all those, oh, do you have something, yes?
Point of information. Yeah, there were a couple senator reports last week that weren't added to the docket this week, namely mine.
Okay, would you like to give your report now then?
Yeah, that'd be great. So I've been working with Tech Committee currently, and we're working on a project where we want to kind of update some of the computer labs. So if anyone's interested in or has any ideas about that, I'd be very happy to talk to you. We are setting up meetings currently with Dave Robinson, head of ITS. We're also setting up meetings with Rick Whitney and Joe Rolone to update these spaces and turn them into more collaborative environments. So if anyone has any ideas, come to Tech Committee Monday from 8 to 9 p.m.
Are there any questions for Senator Hamilton? Yes, Senator Stallings.
DJ just asked a good question. I'm curious too. Does that count like labs that have school-owned computers that necessarily aren't in the dorms, like the BCC, for example?
So currently the labs that we're working on are the ones in the residence halls, but we could be interested in extending the project.
Any further questions? All right, I see no further, but does anybody have any other reports they'd like to give, something that was missed on the agenda? All right, President White?
Motion to adjourn.
All right, I see a motion to adjourn. Do I see a second? Yes, Senator Logan. And then all those in favor, please say aye. Aye. All those opposed, please say nay. All those abstaining, please say aye. All right, we are all adjourned. Thank you all very much. Good work. We're out of here at 9:07. Thank you all, senators. You're all my favorite senators. Other than Senator Harris, junior senator out of California. Vote for her eventually.
But like,
It's ARC out of California. And I hope everyone votes for her.
So who's going to run?
Senator Harris.
The presiding officer.
Riley,
what did you say? What did you just say?
Vote for Senator Harris someday when she runs for president. She's out of California. She is awesome. Vote for her.